You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
Battle Strategies with Green Irene here on the Pace Radio Network. Sharing strategies that combine the curative powers of cannabis, the healing suggestibility of hypnosis, and the power of neuro-linguistic programming to help you help you. Control chronic pain and fatigue, eliminate negative patterns of resolve, and build a brighter, healthier, happier you, starting now. Hi there, and welcome. Today, I'm going to focus on the tools and techniques that we can use to decalcify and ultimately defeat depression. Notably, more information and details can be found in the book Decalcify Depression, which is now available on Amazon as part of the Info is Power series. You can also check out my website at greenirene.ca for any program, products, services, or presentation information, as well as any additional information related to any of the productions that we do here on the Pace Radio. The details are there, and you can easily at that same time book a call with me to chat about any questions that you might have. That said, let's get on with today's battle strategy. Feeling depressed sucks. And if you let it control you, it can ruin your life, holding your health and happiness hostage. And it doesn't have to be this way. You don't have to take pharmaceuticals either just to defeat depression. Now, my area of expertise, as most of you already know, is NLP, hypnotherapy, and cannabis. I have been working and studying in this field of research and study since 2012. And in this production, I'm going to share some of my understandings and experiences with you. It is the process that I'm going to share today that has really helped many others through the depressive state that the isolation of COVID caused over the last couple of years, as well as the very common depression that becomes really inflamed during the dark winter months. Before we get started, though, I really want to point out how important it is that you consult with a healthcare professional, whether it's a doctor or a naturopath or a nutritionist, whatever. Just make sure that you're taking care of your physical aspects of your health, from diet and nutrition through sleep and exercise, because a healthy diet with good food choices and a regular routine of exercise or activity is always number one when it comes to your health and wellness. Moving beyond that, and assuming that you've either got these factors under control or that you have a plan to do so, we can talk about your emotional state. Abraham Lincoln said, "Most folks are about as happy as they make up their minds to be." And he was really on to something there. Today we call it neuro-linguistic programming, which is basically translated as what we tell our brains to think and do, it does. It's, for all intent purposes, training the brain. Now, if you can train it to be happy, it'll have happy thoughts. If you train it to focus on depressive factors, it'll produce depression. Historically, when a person or a patient was diagnosed with depression, they were pretty much doomed to a lifetime of drugs or pharmaceutical therapies because of the chemical imbalance that was recognized. And chances are they were looking at years of counseling or psychiatric therapy. Because according to established medical tradition, a depressed patient was, for all intent purposes, simply broken. And now, while it's true that our thoughts are chemical and emotional states create chemical imbalances, The traditional approach doesn't take into consideration that you are actively creating states constantly. Since, all kinds of studies have been done in the last X number of years, and we have learned through all kinds of neurological studies, there's the discovery of epigenetics and neuroplasticity, that there are mechanics involved which can be changed and modified by you. Your thinking, your eating, your training and activity, you really can control the machine and the chemical balancing. You actively have a process that you are currently employing or that you use to apply to create or construct the emotional state that you find yourself in, and a process or program that you run so that you can keep yourself in that state. So people who suffer from chronic depression are people who have become extremely successful at feeling depressed. They know when to feel it, how to feel it, how to verify they feel it, and how to find it when they don't feel it. And they can do this consistently. So notably, it stands to reason that if you can be really good at being or feeling depressed, then you can get equally good at being or feeling optimistic or joyful, happy, motivated, right? Okay. And that stands to reason. Even if something traumatic happened in your life, there's absolutely no reason that it should be continuing to impact it. Every single moment of our lives is a new opportunity to find a better experience and create a better future for yourself, right? Now, okay, I can hear some of you out there, and you may have developed a belief that it takes a lot of work and a lot of time to get rid of something that you have been suffering from for years. This belief is what keeps people in the loop of endless therapy. Because quite honestly, your brain works way faster than you think, and thoughts can be changed in an instant. It only takes a one-time, here, a perfect example, it only takes a one-time event to develop a phobia. The same applies to removing that phobia. This also applies to the same process applies to getting rid of depression. Your brain is a supercomputer. If you change the software, you change the results. Okay. So how then do you actually use this supercomputer brain of yours to change the way you're feeling? Well, you start by rewiring your brain, retrain your brain. Begin by looking at depression as something you do instead of something that is. It is not a noun, it is a verb, an action. And when we return from the break, I'm going to share with you some of the techniques that are written out in detail specifically in the book, as well as some hypnosis techniques, and I will share with you some cannabis therapies that will help you decalcify and defeat depression. Stay tuned for more after a message from our sponsors.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Cannabis edibles are an effective way to manage pain and other ailments, especially when you deal with your trusted partner, Legacy 420, in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. You see, we lab test every product on site to ensure proper dosage every time, which is critical when consuming cannabis edibles. All Legacy 420 edibles are made by our classically trained baker and chocolatier, and we also have super tasty vegan options.
Our baker has been in the industry for 25 years. She's also a chocolatier. Everything from savory to sweet, your chocolate bars, brownies, butter tarts, you name it, we make it.
Talk to our knowledgeable Cannatex about our incredible variety available. Give your trusted partners a call. Legacy 420 out on your road.
In February of 2022, the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club and Ted Smith were fined $6.5 million. This for helping 8,500 patients with access to medical cannabis. In our interview with Ted, he spoke to us about how people can donate to help in an upcoming court challenge. And here is part of that interview. From what I've seen lately, I believe that you've got something that you're trying to do as far as fundraising to deal with this next court challenge.
For now, people can write checks directly to Jack Lloyd Law Corporation or send e-transfers to savethevcbc@gmail.com. I guess those are the two easiest ways for people to help right now.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Growing your own cannabis is easier than you think. Whether you're growing for recreational or medical purposes, BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. From the standard 4-plant recreational systems to the latest cutting-edge hydroponic equipment, BMA can customize your package and do it at discount prices. Visit BMA Hydroponics at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville and ask us for a free estimate. Or call 613-967-9888 and we will give you an estimate over the phone.
The only way to go.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
Excellent. Welcome back. Before the break, I shared with you the value of training your brain. The technique to program your supercomputer-like brain is NLP, or neuro-linguistic programming. Research and science has shown and proven that the brain can be trained, retrained, and trained some more. Neuroplasticity shows that our brain chemistry and the firing of different neural pathways is changeable with stimulus, internal or external. And we know that we can. We just simply can. We can change our brains. We can change our brain chemistry, and we can change which neurons fire and when. So there's a lot of evidence supporting the use of hypnosis to create change easily. Having power over the brain, or how the brain operates and runs programs, procedures, or processes, that help us to function. Everything from building and repairing cells, systemically operating all of our organs simultaneously, or, right through to talking to ourselves and deciding how we're going to act. A perfect example. Sally, don't forget the milk. You forgot it last week. This wasn't a good thing. You can hear this voice in your head with all the other noises and observations while you're driving a vehicle down the road. You're processing and digesting the lunch that you ate the hour before, and you might even be sipping water from the bottle that's sitting in your console. All the while, your brain is managing all of that and more without you even thinking about it, right? It's really quite amazing, right? Right. Now, imagine, just for a minute, being capable and skilled at getting into the brain like a computer hacker. You could tweak and modify any of the programs or processes that run so that you could function mentally, physically, emotionally, cognitively, consciously, subconsciously, whatever you want, the way that you want, right? How cool and awesome would that be? Imagine what you could do. You want to know why I'm so excited? Here's the cool thing. You can. You really can. And the more you practice, the better and more skilled you will
become. Now, I want to point out in that example of Sally that I just gave you, if we were retraining her brain, we would change the pattern of her thinking habits so that we could, prevent her from ruminating, because that's the leading cause of depression. Sally would be more likely to think to herself, and as she remembers the milk, instead of saying to herself, Sally, don't forget the milk, you forgot it last week, she's going to say something like, remember the milk on your way home. You'll be so happy to reward yourself with a warm cup before bed tonight. And a smile creeps across her face instead of ruminating on all the past events when she forgot it. And so, as you can see, this is a much more positive, a much more optimistic program and process or way of thinking, right? So, as learning that depression is an action, looking at it as a verb, that it's something that you do, really does help your brain to realize that you can do something different. If depression comes from ruminating on past events or occurrences, and you don't want to do depression today, just change every thought that you have to desired outcome mode, like we talked about previous to the break. So, for example, the warm milk before bed instead of the sadness of forgetting it the last time. The point is making the thought of a nice warm cup before bed very appealing and enriching that thought by adding perceivable senses to the experience. So, for example, while in a hypnotic state, imagining the warmth of the palms of your hands as you clasp them around the cup, and perhaps enjoying the subtle hint and aroma of cinnamon as it wafts up through the steam when you bring the cup to your lips. You could feel the fluffiness and the comfort of your slippers or PJs as you're finding yourself cozy and cozier in the bedtime wind-down routine process that this program runs. And you get the idea of how this is going to work, right? You're going to associate all of these senses to the new positive desired outcome. The point is here, while you're in that state of hypnosis, and you're using neuro-linguistic programming to get you from your present state or a previous state to an optimal desired outcome state, the clearer you can see or hear or feel or smell or taste or scent the desired outcome, the more successful you'll be at achieving it easily. Notably, just as you could imagine an enriched new desired outcome, the truth is, for all intent purposes, you were actually self-hypnotizing when you were imagining that. Hypnosis uses the ability of the brain to create new neural pathways and connect to the new experiences that were vividly imagined during treatment. So, whether you do depression, or you do joy or optimism or motivation or happiness, or you do whatever, your brain has to run a program. And you can easily tweak and modify any program when you are in a state of hypnotic trance. Cannabis is an absolutely amazing vehicle that'll help get your brain and body to relax so easily and effortlessly that you can enter and achieve a trance state like that. Using NLP to create the changes that you want, thinking forward to the desired outcome versus backward in rumination mode, and voila, you have the magic recipe for decalcifying and defeating depression. What cannabis strains should you be using? Well, before I tell you that, let me get one thing out of the way. Even though cannabis is helpful in alleviating depression, it does not provide a complete cure. Depression can be an ongoing occurrence or a recurrence of symptoms that additional treatments like NLP and hypnotherapy are absolutely essential. Combining cannabis, when it comes to cannabis, it's going to take a lot more than just a high level of THC. You're going to have to use a strain that is composed of a combination of terpenes and cannabinoids and other compounds that have therapeutic elements. Luckily, there are many cannabis strains to choose from. Cannabinoids, for those of you not familiar, are the most talked about compounds in cannabis. THC, of course, is the psychoactive component that delivers the euphoria or high, and CBD, as well as other cannabinoids, are more medicinal, and they're used for physical effects like anti-inflammation. About what else is there beyond the THC and CBD and other cannabinoids? Terpenes. You've probably heard the word terpenoid or terpene. There are certain terpenes that are found in cannabis that cause uplifting effects. These are the aroma molecules. And here are the terpenes that you want to look for to defeat depression. Limonene being the number one. Limonene. This reduces anxiety and stress. Terpinolene produces an uplifting experience, whereas pinene reduces anxiety, and both myrcene as well as linalool promote relaxation. In a little while, the strains that I'm going to suggest, you'll find high percentages of all of these terpenes or any combination of these terpenes with a pretty balanced mode of cannabinoids, and we'll get there. The point is, any combination of these terpenes and the cannabinoids of THC, CBD, CBG can actually help reduce the effects of depression, increasing your success rate for achieving hypnotic trance. It helps to open awareness for new options and reprogramming suggestions. All of it supporting health and wellness. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You can rebalance your endocannabinoid system, control your cognitive actions, and the bottom line is better manage your moods. And the better skilled you become at recognizing the pattern of depression programs, the more effective you're going to become at diffusing, deflating, and defeating it. I really do wish you the best. And if you'd like assistance with battles that you're fighting, book a discovery call or a strategy session with me today at www.greenirene.ca. So to help you get into a blissful state, my absolute favorite, these two are tied for first place, and that is Pineapple Express and Durban Poison. Both of those strains, I prefer the sativa dominant, higher THC. Durban Poison around 18 to 20% THC. It has a really high limonene terpene percentage. Pineapple Express, the very same, somewhere around 20% THC. Neither of these have a very high CBD percentage. Granddaddy Purple. The primary terpenes are myrcene, caryophyllene, pinene. It's THC dominant, and Granddaddy Purple is a very soothing strain. It can stimulate your appetite. It might encourage a sense of serenity throughout the mind and body. I like this strain best at late in the evening or before bed when I need that little extra help to find a cool, calm headspace to help me mellow out and chill out before bed. Harlequin is absolutely beautiful. People love it. It's got a balanced THC CBD percentage that results in a strain that can really deliver a clear head. The CBD helps counteract the sometimes anxiety-inducing effects of the THC. Cannatonic is another one of my favorites, high in myrcene, pinene, caryophyllene. It's also a balanced THC CBD strain that's very high in CBD, which is important for a lot of patients. Now, many patients have voted for the Granddaddy Purple and the Harlequin strains to combat the symptoms of depression. As you explore new cannabis strains, really pay attention to the terpenes as well as the cannabinoid percentages of THC and CBD or any others. The aromatic compounds are important to your experience. They help shape the smell, the flavor, and possibly, and its science is showing that it even affects the associated euphoria. Use a journal or a logbook to help you keep track of the strains you try and your experiences accordingly. I'm going to recommend, of course, the Cannabis Consumption Companion. This really is the bud buddy that helps you help you. Decalcifying, deflating, defeating depression is very, very possible. And quite frankly, it's much easier to do than many of us were led to believe by historic teachings. If you want to learn more, you want to get a detailed guide on how to decalcify and defeat depression using NLP, hypnosis, and cannabis, order the book today. It's available for sale on Amazon from the Info is Power series. It provides an overview of the tools and techniques with detailed instructions for using them and applying the techniques. It has methods for honing skills of deflection or absorption. It has methods for honing to create and achieve the quality of life that we desire. So ultimately we can live a life that we love. This book is on sale now. You can find it at Amazon or check it out at my website, www.greenirene.ca. And I will be back next week with some excellent battle strategy suggestions for eczema. Learn more next week on Battle Strategies with Green Irene, Fridays at noon on the Pace Radio Network and cbgtv.com.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. Visit our hydroponics superstore at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville and we'll show you how to grow your own quality cannabis for pennies per gram. We're open Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 613-967-9888. BMA Hydroponics. It's worth the drive.
The only way to go.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20, it's so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partner 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420, enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products, make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyndonega Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
Did you know that the Pace Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most, but not all of our programming is now done via video and is then podcasted at paceradio.net. So if you want to watch our programming, you'll find us on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at paceradio.net.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.